Well, howdy ho there, neighbor. Hope you guys all had a nice Easter, really nice Sunday. Spend time with your family, and Jesus is risen, so hallelujah. All right, so today I wanted to talk to y'all about swimming in college, some of the things that you can do to get recruited by colleges or start reaching out to colleges, and hopefully this helps you in your search to continue swimming after your high school career ends. All right, so this is a sheet that I put together a few years ago with the help of some of my college coaches. One went on to be the assistant coach at Purdue for the women's program, and the other one went on to be the head coach at UW-Milwaukee. I have gone through over the years and updated some things. Dates are always changing with the NCAA and their recruiting process. I've done my best to stay up to date on all of this. If there's any issues, please put a comment down below to let me know what I might have missed on. But let's dive into it. So this is on college swimming. This is the sheet I've typed up, and I will try to link it down below in the PDF form so y'all can click on it and read through it if you need to. It says at the top here, swimming is essentially the ultimate goal for a lot of the serious kids in high school, and it was wonderful for me. I love doing it. I swam NCAA Division I at UW-Milwaukee, mid-major D1 school, gave us some really cool opportunities. So really fun, and here's some things you need to do if you're possibly interested in college swimming. So what you should be doing to be actively recruited, athletes should fill out their profile on ncsasports.org. It'll put your info online, and then coaches have an easier time finding you based upon your times. It's a general database. There are other sites out there that you can. This is just the one that I've seen being effective. They likely will call you and try to give you a sales pitch, and I think it's like $1,500 to sign up with them. I did have one girl do that, and it really helped her because they did really allow you to get into some neat data that you can see how well you fit with their team, but it's not necessary. Just by signing up for it, it's a way to help get your name out there. All right, the second thing you can do is go to specific universities' athletic websites and fill out recruit questionnaires. I want to say I did over 25 or 30 of those. Just schools that I might have interest in. I hadn't even dug too deep, but at least to put my name out there because I was looking for a college scholarship to help me pay for school. So I filled those out, and a lot of times the coach or somebody from the team would get back to me and just kind of express, okay, we don't really have a spot for you on the team, or you have some times you need to hit, or yes, we are interested. So it was a really good thing to do. Number 3 is occasionally update your profile on NCSA or any other website you might use, like a database. Aim to do this at least once a year, if not twice a year. All right. There are some automatic updates that happen, but it's really good to log in and see if you have any messages on that website platform or if there's any errors that you have to fix. And then the fourth thing would be to go to a swim camp at the desired school. A lot of swim camps, especially D1 schools, offer swim camps throughout the summer, and it's a good way to go there and hopefully get some face time with the coaches and be able to kind of talk to them about swimming and their philosophies to get to know them better. But then it also puts you on their radar because you've been at their camp, you talk to them, so hopefully they'll follow you as you continue to progress throughout high school. All right, these are things really you need to start freshman year, okay? You got to get started earlier. The earlier the better. There's no way around it. If you're a senior, it's not too late, but you are behind the ball. Like, you really need to be emailing coaches directly and trying to get a response from them, and then following up every few weeks if you haven't gotten a response, but staying on their radar, because you are essentially trying to sell yourself and that you're worth it for them to invest to be on your team. Now, times obviously are a big thing they look at, but my sister was not a great swimmer in high school, ended up being really good in college, but she was offered a scholarship just because she went and did her recruiting trip, sat down in the meeting with the coach, and they kicked it off. He really liked her leadership style, and it worked out really well for her. Gave her an opportunity to swim on a full tuition scholarship, so it was very cool. All right, so info and dates to be aware of. These do change, so make sure you check out the NCAA's website. I just updated it, so hopefully it's good to go now. But coaches reaching out via text, phone call, or email, that cannot start before June 15th of one's sophomore year. Recruiting really starts to pick up on August 1st of their sophomore year. Well, I guess going into junior year. So it's still good to send updates and reach out and communicate before that date. Like, send your times to the coaches, send them, tell them you're interested, tell them you're aiming to improve in this event or that event. They may not respond, but that doesn't mean they're not reading it. So the more you can do that, freshman and then sophomore year leading up to that June 15th date, the better. All right, official school visits. Athletes may take visits starting August 1st of their junior year. Prospective athletes are allowed up to 5 official visits to D1 or D2 schools combined, and you're only allowed 1 official visit per school, so you can't double up. An official visit is one that the school pays for or helps pay for your trip and sets you up with meetings with the coaches and to see the facility and the program and maybe to watch a practice or something. My personal recommendation, as long as your grades are good enough, is to take as many visits as you can. I ended up using all 5 of mine back in the day, and it really helped me to see what type of university and school I was interested in. All right, so girls. The trend is that girls' teams rosters fill up early and earlier in college. It's much more common for a girl to commit verbally to a college team her sophomore or junior year of high school. Therefore, do your best to get in contact as soon as you can. But don't be discouraged if your dream team is full. Keep looking at other schools and stay in contact with that target school. You may have a great meet and pop a crazy time. They're going to want you if they have learned to who you are as a person and they like your personality, and then you have a really nice time to go with it. It's not a bad deal. Boys, there's not a lot of money. That's the reality. There's just not a lot of money out there for boys swimming. Title IX affected that. Any scholarship offer is a huge compliment to you as a swimmer for jumping in and selling yourself as a recruit, but then also how well you're swimming. So be proud of yourself if you get any scholarship offers as a boy. The good news is stated for girls. There's a lot of schools out there who have swim teams of all sizes. It's more common for boys to hold off committing anywhere until junior or senior year of high school. And that also has to do with boys just continue to develop through high school and then also through college. So sometimes colleges want to hold off and see how you're growing, how you're gaining weight or muscle, see how you're swimming. All right, so typical time standards for scholarships. Most of the time, it's not all the time, there are somewhat different ranking systems out there, but most of the time what I've seen is that universities want to spend their money on a swimmer who's going to score them points at their conference meet. So if you looked at the Big Ten results this year, to make it into the top 16 final, it took a 53 high. So it'd be good to shoot for 53 mid, maybe 53 high in high school. Not that they won't consider you if you go 54 mid, but that really helps your recruiting process because you would go in right away freshman year and they would expect you to be scoring points for their team. So maintaining scholarships, if injured, each conference, school, and coach handles injuries differently. So say you're there, your freshman year, you get injured. All right, most of the time, if one is injured doing their sport or training for it, a coach cannot pull the scholarship out from underneath you. Now, it can happen, and sometimes college kids are dumb riding on long boards or something when they're not supposed to, and they break their ankle. Like, that didn't happen during the sport, so I've never heard of someone getting their scholarship taken away because of that, but I would not be surprised if it happens just because somebody was being kind of dumb. All right, the second part, not performing to standard athletically. Many scholarships are year to year, all right? So a coach could pull your scholarship from you. All right, I had a few friends in college, they did okay, but not up to the standards that they were recruited for. And the coach pulled them in the office at the end of the season and said, hey, we gotta sit you down. I'm gonna ask you, are you willing to give up some of your money so that I can put it on some of these new kids coming in or somebody else who's here and doing really well? All right, now they did ask. I don't think they have to do that, but it was respectful of them to let that athlete know. And the coach has to look at the whole team. Of course, they want to see you do well, but they're trying to get the whole team to be a winning squad. And sometimes if you're not pulling your weight, they've got to look elsewhere. All right, it's not a fun conversation, but at least there is communication in that instance most of the time. If a scholarship is pulled, it is typically at the end of the season, but not always. Not performing academic standards may cost one an athletic scholarship. But that's super, super important. You have to perform academically. Now, luckily, colleges do set up a lot of avenues for you to get extra tutoring, extra study hall time. As a freshman, I had to put in, I think, 8 or 10 hours a week in the study hall, whether I needed it or not, but it was just to kind of set me on a path like, okay, I'm time managing well between classes, swimming, and getting all my homework done, all right? So say a new coach comes in, this happens in the swimming world, and it usually is the new coach's decision to keep you on scholarship agreement or not, okay? So that just goes team to team, coach to coach, depending what they got going on. So that was a lot of D1, D2 stuff there. So in Division III, athletic scholarships are not given. They also don't have to adhere to the same dates that Division I and II do, but typically D3 schools stick to those same dates. So June 15th of sophomore year when they're able to talk to you. All right, so they do not give athletic scholarships. Therefore, if an athlete gets academic scholarships, potentially even some extra academic aid, due to being an athlete, like, oh, you got brown eyes and you get really good grades. I mean, sometimes that happens, whether it's supposed to or not. But what can happen is an athlete will get like academic scholarships at D3 and then quit the team, and the coach is not able to pull the academic scholarships from you. As far as the wording goes, all right, my uncle did this, played football 1 year on a full scholarship and then quit, but he already had a full scholarship because it was based off of academics. Is it the right thing to do? Was it free college? Okay. I mean, but again, that was a while ago, so they may have some new rules. I haven't read super in depth to that. All right. So college swimming options. NCAA Division I and II schools can give athletic scholarships, as I said. Division III schools may not give athletic scholarships, but if they want you bad enough, they may encourage admissions to accept you and find a way to make it work. Okay. NCAA is the main governing body of college athletics, but there is also the NAIA, and those are different schools. All right, so you got the NCAA governing body, that's the big one, pretty much everybody knows, and then you also have NAIA schools, which is another governing athletic body, and they have their own championships and nationals and everything like that. They may give athletic or academic scholarships. An example of that would be SCAD Savannah, SCAD Savannah. They have a very strong swim team, and they are NAIA. So I hope that helps you out in learning how to get your name out there. Remember, you are trying to sell yourself, so it's really important as early as you can, start getting your name out there, start contacting these places, these colleges, these universities, whether they get back to you or not. Keep updating them, because you have to be outspoken. You have to get your name out there if you really want to swim in college. And COVID, there's been some programs cut. I know Dartmouth cut their program. So you really got to be proactive. So make sure you're reaching out, you're getting this done, and good luck.